What's up guys, it's Chelsea Coleman here of Dauntless Performance Horses, and today we are very excited to show you our new farm in Kentucky. We got back a couple weeks ago, so we still aren't 100% settled in, but we're almost there. And so now we thought it would be a great time to show you guys around our new place. So come with me.
Our champion now, Chelsea Coleman, Dauntless Courage.
Okay, so this is our main aisleway. We've got two separate aisles. This is the main wing. We've got 17 stalls here, and we've got nice, beautiful rubber pavers to come in, which is super nice on the horse's feet and legs. They come walking in here. If someone gets loose, you don't have to worry about them slipping and falling. So we've got a block of 4 stalls here. So this area that we're in now was the old breeding shed. So as you can tell, it's very spacious. Lots of nice, cushy rubber paver padding. Here we've got what they use as stocks to palp the mares, but we are gonna put our TheraPlate down, so this will essentially be our TheraPlate stock. We also are looking at maybe putting in some cross ties over there. So this could be our kind of farrier area, but right now we use it to put some hay and shavings, bag shavings over there. And this is a great area for vet checks. And we have had a blind horse here that was completely blind. She was being treated for an eye ulcer. And this is a great area. Turn off the lights, shut the doors, and it's great to view x-rays, look at the eye, all that kind of stuff. So this area has a lot of good uses for it. But right now, like I said, we store some hay over there, nice and dry and out of the way, and then we've got our TheraPlate coming to put in the stock, so that's super cool. And then over here, we've got our round pen. So this is what you would call a privacy round pen or a breaking pen. So it's got a roof over it, so rain, shine, sleet, or snow, we're solid. It's also got the high walls, so the horses can still see over, but it doesn't completely block their view, which is nice. So some of those big privacy round pens that are, 13 to 16 feet tall, they're great, they have their purposes, but also it does get distracting when you want to transition from the round pen to the arena. So this is nice because you can still get the sunshine and the air and hear the birds and hear everything, and the tall horses can see over it, but this is also, it's a square from the outside, but on the inside it's got the support walls, so it works beautifully as a round pen, has a very gentle corner, which is nice to be able to get them in and out of places and work them. So we love this round pen. We've got the kinetic sand footing that we water and drag it, and it's good as gold. Now, we will show you guys the indoor arena. We've got 12 sprinklers in here, lots of lights. This is a great indoor because you'll notice it's quite long compared to how wide it is. It's plenty wide enough to put jumps in here and all that stuff, but this is really cool because of the length and the shallow short sides, you can set up jump chutes. Anytime you're taking conformation videos or movement videos of the young horses, this is a great place to do it because the door's shut. We've got 5 garage doors, and then we have our blockade doors as well. So you can set the horses loose in here, and it essentially is like a giant stall. So this is super nice. We've got the same footing in here, that kinetic, good jumping sand footing. So now that's our indoor. Now we will show you our border tack room and the wash racks. Okay, so here we've got our wash rack area. So we've got some of the heat lamps up here, hot and cold water, and nice little, I don't know why I love this so much, but we've got the cross tie pad so it hits the rubber and not the concrete, which I love because that sound very much so annoys me. So this is a nice little area because it's it's not too wide, so it's wide enough for them to turn around, but it's not wide enough for them to feel like they have 1,000 miles of space to get into trouble. And again, we've got the brick pavers here and a covered drain, so you don't have to worry about them slipping or falling or anything like that. So now I'll show you the border tack room right across from the wash rack. So this is our border tack room. There's saddle racks being made to hang up and more bridle racks, but we've got plenty of space in here. It's air conditioned and it's got the fake tile floor, so it's super easy to clean. Got lots of drawers and cubbies behind. So yeah, this is, if you're boarding with us, this is where your stuff will go. This is the aisleway to our second wing of the barn. There's 18 stalls on this side. And they all have the same, they don't have turnouts attached to the stalls that you'll see on the other side, but they do have, every external stall has an outside door and an inside door, which is nice because the horses can see in and out, which is awesome. And then this is our bathroom. Nice. The dogs love it in there. It's air conditioned. We have a shower, a toilet, obviously, sink, tile floor, washer and dryer. Come on. Lovely hardware handles. So next we've got an amazing, awesome tool called Equisizer. This is a craft Equisizer. Now, essentially, for those of you who don't know what an Equisizer is, it's also called a hot walker. It's got arms that come down in sections. So what you do is you put horses in, it can hold 6. You turn it on and it walks and trots them. You can canter them on it. We don't do that because I don't think it's super safe to do that, but it also has a round pin, and this is fully equipped with fiber. So the footing in the round pin and the Equisizer is fiber footing, so we love that. So the horses are always on good footing. This round pin is nice because it's not as private as the other one, but it's still covered so you can work in the rain, no problem. Now this is an electric machine, so we wouldn't obviously put the horses in here during a storm, a thunderstorm, but if it's raining, that's safe. Okay, now, arguably one of the coolest pieces of equipment on this property is what's up next, so follow me. This is our Aquasizer, or Aquapacer. So essentially what this is the same thing as the Equisizer, it's just underwater. So the water is about 3 feet deep. It's a craft also. It's got 5 stalls in it. So essentially what you do is you bring the horses in, you drop them in a stall. You shut this door, you move to the next stall, insert another horse, and once it's full, you click it on, and the horses can walk on here. It's the same concept as an aquatread. Obviously, an aquatread is a treadmill that fills with water. The floor doesn't move, the horses do the walking. But this is a very, very great piece of equipment, especially for an operation like us who has rehab horses, race horses off the track, young horses and event horses, or dressage horses, sport horses, any kind of working performance horse, because water is really, really good low impact, and it can build up a top line like you would not believe. Now, what some of you might not know is that is how I've kept Dante sound for all these years at the advanced level, is because I started him what I call aqua training, which would be swimming pool and aqua pacer or treadmill and cold water spa, before he even finished going training level. So I was told from a young age when I got him that he would never make it to the advanced level, well, preliminary level even, because he would break down. So this is how I have kept him from breaking down. So Aquatics have a huge place in my heart, especially with the horses, rehab, performance horses. We'll talk a little bit more about some of our theories and our ideas, but this is a cool opportunity to get the horses used to water. It's also a great place to keep them fit without having to put a ton of miles on their legs. So well, you don't have to put poop bags on them in here. This blue thing is what they call the poop chute. So essentially, when they use the bathroom in here, it gets filtered to the conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt takes the poop up and drops it into a container behind, and then we just take it and dump it. So this building is heavily insulated, so in the winter we've got a heater, and it has an AC unit, so in the summer it doesn't get too hot. So this is a really great place, like I said, to get a lot of work done. It's also great because water can be scary for young horses and horses that have never seen it before. And this place is very quiet, it's very isolated, and that is very comforting to horses that get very nervous. And another cool thing about this is it is essentially an underground swimming pool above ground. So what I mean by that is it is underground, but it's not filled in. So when the horses get in here and they look to the right, they see the catch pit, which the catch pit essentially, if you want to change the water level, you turn on a switch and it fills into the catch pit. It processes that water, filters it, and then puts it back in whenever you're ready to add it. But that looks like a deep, dark, scary hole to the horses. And then on the left side is where all the filters are. So that also looks like a deep, dark, scary hole. And you might be wondering where I'm going with this, but the reason why I am pointing that out is because that's what makes this walker feel and look safe to the horses, because everything else around it is scary. So horses handle this a lot better than you would think. And I believe that's why, because horses work off of options. And if they have a better option to take, they will. They're very good about that. And so when they come into this looks like the best option to them, because like I said, everything else is kind of like a concrete pit jungle to them in their eyes. So that's a misconception that a lot of people will probably have, is that, oh my gosh, my horse will never go in there. This is also nice because it's isolated enough and controlled enough that you can give them a little bit of sedation if they're nervous, and they can go in here safely and successfully and not get hurt. Another thing that's great about the Aquasizer is it's got outdoor matting or carpet for the inn, along with the rubber mats, obviously, to pad the concrete, but this allows it so that they don't slip. Now that's a huge deal with the horses going into water for the first time. You do not want them to slip. That's very scary. The last cool part about this building is anytime you put your horses in water, they always advise you spray them off. So there was an external wash rack, but they have created an internal wash rack, which is awesome because you can bring your horses in here, hose them down with warm water, and send them straight in. So this is nice, again, in the winter. When you're hosing them outside and bringing them in, it's a little bit much, but this is our heater. So when this is kicked on in the winter, you can bring them in here, hose them down with warm water in the warm, and everything's good. So whole package in this little building. This is the back side of our main aisleway. We've got a little rehab / dry lot fat horse paddock right outside the barn. We're putting in a paddock here for monitored turnout. So we've got some rehab horses in here, you'll see. All right, so in here we've got our feed room and my tack room. I own so many horses that I kind of have to have a tack room of my own. So we've got all of our feed on the left, our therapy equipment, our supplements, and then all of our charts that we keep track of everything on. We've got what all the horses eat. We've got a workout chart. We've got a therapy tracker chart and task chart. So we try and keep track of everything. So if anybody new comes in, or someone that hasn't been here before is coming to work here, or they're filling in for a day, everything is kind of dummy proof. We've got a lot of horses here, so it is kind of hard to keep track. So we just make sure we write everything down so we don't get lost in translation somewhere. So on this side, we've got some of our coolers hanging up, saddle pads, all of our tack, all of my tack. And then we've got a fridge for our ice boots, or a fridge for our food, ice chest for our ice boots, and a microwave. So we try and eat 3 times a day. Doesn't always happen, but this definitely helps. We can bring our lunch, toss it in the fridge, heat it up in the microwave, and carry on with our day. Our little aisleway right outside the tack room, we do have a set of cross ties here. I mainly use this for my horses because all my tack's in there. Then we've got our cross aisleway here that we also use for cross ties. One of my favorite things about this side of the barn is our rehab stalls. So you come this way, you can see our rehab stalls. We've got 4 of them on this side. They are double, so they're 2 14 by 14 stalls combined. This is super nice for our rehab horses because it gives them enough space to feel like they can walk around, but it's also not so big that they can hurt themselves. And then once they've graduated from 24/7 in a stall, we can just open these doors and they've got their own little runs that they can go out in and enjoy the day without having a ton of friends. Right, Mr. Man? This is one of our rehab boys. He's a show jumper. We love him. I won't say his name because he's kind of a big deal, but he is a sweet boy. This is also nice because this horse in particular is in pretty extensive rehab. So the runs are shared. It's two stalls to a run. So this horse has gone out for the day, but when this horse gets lonely, he can just walk over and say hello to his friend through the door. So that we love that. So they can still chat and be friends. They've got fans in every stall, but they're hung up on the stall edges up top, which is super nice. They're the safety fans. So they're 3-prong fans. You don't have to worry about fire. This is a concrete block barn, but things can still catch on fire anytime there's hay or wood. So we love having these fans up here. They're super easy to replace. They just hook right up on top of the stall walls, and you can click them on, turn them off if it's hot. The thing about this barn is there's many spigots in each barn, which is nice. 1, again, for safety, but 2, we don't have to stretch one hose across the entire barn. So I think there's 3 or 4 spigots in this row. Again, it's 17 stalls, so that makes it pretty easy. If you're hand carrying buckets, you're close. If you're taking a hose out, you're close. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Before we leave, we're gonna take you on a little tour of the beautiful pastures so you can get the full experience of how great this farm is. But before we leave, I wanna remind you that it doesn't matter where you come from, it only matters where you're going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.